Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Stapakaya cha dharmasya sarvadharmasvarupine. Stapakaya cha dharmasya sarvadharmasvarupine. Avatara varishtaya Ramakrishna te namah. Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorama mritangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let us offer our salutations to Sri Ramakrishna, the embodiment of all religions, the Supreme God incarnate. Let us pray to Him to lead us from the unreal to the real, to lead us from the darkness of ignorance to the light of knowledge, to lead us from death to immortality. We have been discussing some of the topics selected from the Gospel. Today's topic I have chosen Brahman as Sri Ramakrishna. It's really very unique that Sri Ramakrishna revealed the truth, and he explained how the incarnations come in order to guide the humanity. How from the absolute Brahman it becomes incarnated as a human being. In fact, there is an episode in Sri Ramakrishna's life that Sri Ramakrishna, one day he was meditating, his mind rose to the highest level. He crossed all the worlds. He goes beyond the Satyaloka and he enters the Saptarshi Mandal. Then he calls out one of the rishis meditating there. I have become, I am here. So he is calling that rishi to come to this earth in order to fulfill the divine mission. The divine mission was to guide the humanity towards reality. It was no longer some abstract power, inconceivable, inexpressible, invisible, but a palpable reality. Questions have been raised. What is that power? By whose will the sun rises, leaves move, and death stalks upon earth? What inscrutable law governs the universe that makes some happy, some miserable, some prosperous, some poor, some virtuous, some wicked? So, man is eager to know the answers for all these questions. Filled with infinite compassion for its created beings, the formless reality became the relative and descended here in this world as Sri Ramakrishna. So Brahman is generally referred to as it. It has no gender. So it became he. It became he. Brahman became Sri Ramakrishna. This divine incarnation made his advent to unravel the deep mysteries of spirituality and to teach humanity love and devotion. He came to earth to unfasten the bonds that bind the human soul and cause people to be put into this wheel of birth and death repeatedly. He held in his hand the key to liberate these jivas imprisoned in this samsara of Maya. He assumed a human form to take people across this seething, surging sea of passions, strong and sorrows deep, which is part of the poem composed by Swami Vivekananda. Seething, surging sea of passions, strong and sorrows deep. So he assumed a human form to take people across this ocean to the other shore where all strife and struggles cease forever. He came out of his boundless love for his devotees. Like stars clustering around the moon, the devotees could make merry and sport with their divine beloved only when they saw him in a human form. Only then could they taste his honeyed sweetness, laden with bliss. After feasting sumptuously upon the ever new divine moods and divine Leela of the Yugavatar, all worldly pleasures become insipid to the devotees. Who can relish bitter herbs after enjoying delicious rice pudding to one's fill? It is just like that. Once you taste this spiritual joy, thereafter you will never like any other happiness in this world. The formless, attributeless, indivisible consciousness appeared in a human form. Swami Vivekananda in his composition, which we pray every day, evening, Khandana Bhavandana, there is a line, Niranjana Nararupadhara Nirguna Gunamaya. The formless, attributeless, indivisible consciousness appeared in a human form as Thakur. But his body was a mere sheath for a support, like a lantern with a light burning inside. The divine light within glowed with such intensity that its glory neither sun nor moon nor stars that twinkled bright nor flash of lightning could express. Again, this is the quotation from Swami Vivekananda's poem. Swamiji has composed a lot of most fantastic poems with speed, with deep spiritual meaning. Always aware of the light within. No wonder even the night of full moon outside appeared to him quite dark. On a full moon night, in a semi-conscious state, Sri Ramakrishna happened to ask his cousin Haldari if that was the night of new moon. Shocked and aghast, Haldari reflected that it was certainly the age of dark Kaliyug. Sri Ramakrishna could not distinguish the full moon from the new moon, and yet people adore him. The covering of Sri Ramakrishna's body was so thin and transparent that every pore of his body radiated bright golden light. Afraid lest out of a misconceived notion about a holy man, people should approach him for curing their diseases and turn his room into a hospital, Sri Ramakrishna prayed to the Divine Mother to draw that light unto herself. It doesn't want to manifest that glow. Occult powers to him were as abominable as filth. When he was suffering from terrible cancer, he could not pray to Divine Mother to cure him. He clearly saw that the self was separate from the body like a dry coconut, which rattles inside its shell. When absorbed in ecstasy, no disease or misery could touch the self within, and the mind could still be blissful. Though the body was so ill, his mind was 100% united with God. No physician was he for physical maladies. The physicians visited Sri Ramakrishna's chamber at Dakshineshwar, the palace of highest ecstasy, where divine bliss flowed day and night in endless streams. Coming to his presence, they forgot all about their patient and the medicine. Enchanted by the spell of his ecstasy, they forgot themselves and all about their worldly duties and anxieties. For hours together, they gazed fascinated at Thakur's singing and dancing in rapture. Forgetting all about his excruciating pain, sometimes Thakur danced majestically like fish gliding through the ocean, and sometimes with the vigor of a lion. Apparently, these physicians came to cure Sri Ramakrishna of his deadly disease, but this physician divine cured them instead of all their spiritual doubts and misgivings. Bhavaroga Vaidya, Sri Ramakrishna is called Bhavaroga Vaidya, who cures the disease of worldliness. We have seen why the very essence and power of Satchidananda incarnates itself in a human form for the welfare of humanity. But is this the end and limit of its glory? referring to a certain place. Someone said to Sri Ramakrishna, as none sang the glories of God there, that it was devoid of holy atmosphere. As soon as Sri Ramakrishna heard this, he perceived that the whole universe was soaked, as it were, in the bliss of Brahman, the absolute, the infinite, the fathomless. No place was unholy. It was God alone who had become all living beings. The Upanishads also say the same thing. They appeared to him as countless bubbles or reflections on the ocean of Satchidananda. Again, sometimes they appeared like so many pills made of indivisible consciousness. It was this vision in which Sri Ramakrishna saw the same divine consciousness in all beings, which threw his mind into ecstasy, and he said, I have become, I am here. These are said by Sri Ramakrishna in the Gospel. Another time, he had the vision of the indivisible, non-dual consciousness. Among them were aristocrats, the English, the Musulmans, myself, referring to himself, Sri Ramakrishna says, scavengers, dogs, and also a bearded Mussulman with an earthenware tray of rice in his hand. He put a few grains of rice into everybody's mouth. I too tasted a little. Another day I saw rice, vegetables, and other foodstuff, and filth and dirt as well, lying around. Suddenly this soul came out of my body, and like a flame touched everything once, even the excreta. It was revealed to me that all these are one substance, the non-dual and indivisible consciousness. These are all words of Sri Ramakrishna in the Gospel. Through these visions, Sri Ramakrishna has revealed to us that it was the same consciousness that was wriggling through not only humans of various creeds and strata of society, but even an ant, a cat, and a dog. That's why one day Sri Ramakrishna fed a cat with the food that was to be offered to the Divine Mother Kali. Even the insentient objects were throbbing with the same consciousness. That's how Lord Krishna says in the Gita, Ishvara sarvabhutanam hriddeshi arjuna tishtati. Sarvabhutanam, he is present. In all the beings, animate and inanimate, sentient and insentient. Sri Ramakrishna has had the same experience of Brahman consciousness. He has taught us that the one eternal consciousness is at the root of everything that exists. In fact, nothing else exists but the one which appears as manifold. It is a process of involution and evolution. The ultimate reality itself has become the universe and its living beings. It itself has become the movable and immovable, the sentient and the insentient objects. It itself is the container as well as the contained. This universe, so wondrous and infinite, is the glory of God. Sri Ramakrishna said in a humorous vein, if an aristocrat has neither house nor property, one does not call him an aristocrat anymore. The colors of the flowers reveal thy sovereign beauty. The waters in their stillness, thy deep serenity. Millions upon millions of suns and moons and stars bow down to thee, O Lord, in rapturous awe. Beholding thy creation, men and women weep for joy. The gods and angels worship thee, O all-pervading presence. This is a poem said in the Gospel. The Absolute plays about as Ishvara through a human form. It is like a chatak bird which soars very high in the sky but has its nest down below. In fact, the Absolute and the Relative are two aspects of the same reality. As Absolute, it is the ocean of existence, knowledge, bliss, Satchidananda Sagar, and as Relative, it is the stream of nectar from the same ocean. Taking a drop of this nectar, a man would swim in eternal bliss. Hushed would be the tumult of the mind. The momentum of his past karmas would be exhausted, Again, as the absolute, it is a roof, and as the relative, the mystic ladder, which the divine graciously lowers for all beings, so that climbing it step by step, they could reach the absolute. And then, coming down and looking at the universe, they could realize that everything is a manifestation of the one indivisible consciousness. From the Maha Akasha, everything comes into being and merges again into the great communion. Sri Ramakrishna, Swami Vivekananda says, who was the foremost disciple of Sri Ramakrishna, who says Sri Ramakrishna created Vivekananda. He could create hundreds of Vivekananda. Swami Vivekananda says, Sri Ramakrishna is our center. These are the words of Swamiji. Sri Ramakrishna is our center. Each one of us is a ray of that light center. A true and living representation of Vivek and Vairagya, discrimination and renunciation, we saw in Sri Ramakrishna, the Master. We read of Viveka and Vairagya in scriptures, but we saw them personified in Sri Ramakrishna. This is said by Brahman. Sri Ramakrishna had the power to transmit spirituality to others, and he could lift one's mind to higher levels of consciousness. He did this by a thought, willpower or touch. I myself had the good fortune to experience Samadhi 3 times during his lifetime because of his touch and wish, says Swami Chidananda. Sri Ramakrishna was the embodiment of truthfulness. He practiced the most perfect simplicity in his habits. His spirit of renunciation was without reservation and compromise, says Swami Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna was a unique combination of humanity and divinity. My conviction is that he was a God-man. His unheard of sadhanas have awakened the Sanatani Shakti for the spiritual welfare of the world, says Swami Chidananda. The life of the Master is a living, flaming Upanishad. The Master is a living demonstration of the truths of the Upanishads, says Swami Premanji. They are all direct disciples of Sri Ramakrishna. With the passing of days, I understand the greatness and glory of my Master. He was God in flesh and blood, and in him live all deities. He was God in flesh and blood, and in him live all deities, says Swami Adbhutananji. Sri Ramakrishna used to take every body where he was and push him forward. He never disappointed anybody by failing in the attempt to mold him according to his own light. He had a distinct relation with each devotee and manifested it throughout, says Swami Turiyanji. I was amazed to see Sri Ramakrishna's love for us. There can be no comparison with his love, Swami Vivekananda says. The Master went through hard spiritual practice for 12 long years without sleep. What sufferings he had to face, and why? All for the good of the world, says Swami Akhandanji. As Sri Ramakrishna was one day walking over a lawn, he once turned back to find that the grass blades over which he had trodden were trying to raise their heads again with difficulty. This made him weep, and he said, alas, these two are sentient. These two are suffering greatly. From that day on, Sri Ramakrishna could not walk on lawns, says Swami Chidananda. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna realized that every woman, whether young or old, is representative of the Divine Mother, the Shakti, the Mother of the Universe, Jagannatha. The highest position that can be given to womanhood was given by Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, says Swami Vedanji. God as the Savior of the sinners was beheld by me in the person of Sri Ramakrishna. I can't dream of another mortal frame through which so much divine love can flow to fallen humanity. Sri Ramakrishna is the sole tenant of my heart. That, however, is in no way due to my worth, but to His grace and love, says Girish Chandra Ghosh. What would come out from the Master's lips could not in any way be violated by anybody. In a few words, he would hit off the tendency of a man and put him in the way to the realization of the ideal, says Nag Maharshi. I am an insignificant person, but I live by the side of an ocean, Sri Ramakrishna, and I keep with me a few pitchers of sea water. When a visitor comes, I entertain him with that. What can I speak of but his Sri Ramakrishna's words, says Master Maharshi. Our Master is very, very nice statement by Sharda Mata, Holy Mother. She said, our Master is Maheshwara and Maheshwari, Supreme God and Supreme Goddess. He is the embodiment of all. He is the embodiment of all times. He is the embodiment of all mystic syllables. One can worship through Sri Ramakrishna all gods and goddesses. Mother says that, she is Sharda. The Master came to make religion easy. People were being crushed under the weight of rules and regulations. To repeat the Lord's name and to worship Him, no special time and place are necessary. In whatever condition one may be, one can take His name. The Master never used to give too much importance to these external observances. The Master once sang a song to me and told me, assimilate any one of these ideas and you will reach the goal. The song runs as follows. O Lord, Thou art my everything, the sole support of my life, the quintessence of reality. There is none else besides Thee in this world whom I can call as my own. Thou art happiness, peace, health, wealth, knowledge, intellect and strength. Thou art the dwelling house and the pleasure garden. Thou art the friend and relative. Thou art this present life, the sole refuge. Thou art the life hereafter and the heaven. Thou art the injunction of the scriptures, the Guru full of blessings and the store of infinite bliss. Thou art the way and the goal. Thou art the creator and preserver and the worshipped. Thou art the father that punishes thy child, the loving mother and storehouse of infinite bliss art thou. These are the words of Shardanji. The present religion is the harmony of all previous religions, of the paths of knowledge, devotion and work. We want knowledge, we want devotion, we want work. Any one of the three in itself will not suffice. We want all the three. Our Master Sri Ramakrishna and Swamiji Vivekananda make a complete ideal. Our Master is living and moving in all as Narayan. The seed of this religion of service was in him. Therefore you now see the tree and its branches. At Devagar, Sri Ramakrishna said to Madhur Babu, feed these poor people, give them clothing and oil for anointing their heads in this scorching heat, or else I will not proceed to Varanasi for pilgrimage. That is how the wheel of this religion of service for this age started rolling, says Swami Akhandanji. The Master is like the Ganga, and all sorts of people will come to him. Let them come. With whatever ideas they take refuge in him, they will get his blessings, says Swami Vivekananda. You should look upon the Master and the Holy Mother as one and the same. You must remember that without the Master's grace, you cannot get the Holy Mother, just as without the Holy Mother's grace, you cannot get the Master. The Master is like Narayan and the Holy Mother is like Lakshmi. You should pray to the Holy Mother for strength, without which nothing can be done. From the Master, you should ask only for pure bhakti. The Master's photograph reveals an image of transcendence of all the 6 chakras, centers of consciousness. I see many things in it, and so I talk about them. He came to the world to uplift people. Go on repeating His name, and peace will be yours. All the sins of the body and the mind are washed away if one looks at Him for some time. But don't approach Him with selfish desires. To invoke the Master means imbibing some of his virtues. When a man thinks intensely about someone else, he comes to acquire some of the virtues of the latter. So, think of Sri Ramakrishna. He is the embodiment of truth. From the absolute, from the direct absolute, he descended on this earth as an incarnation to give right direction for the struggling souls towards the goal of spirituality. So, Sri Ramakrishna, through worshipping Sri Ramakrishna, by repeating his name, you are worshipping all gods and goddesses, and you will be reaching the highest reality. It is said that by taking the bath in the ocean, you get the merit of taking bath in all the holy rivers. Chidananda Sagara Brahman is Sri Ramakrishna. So it's a unique incarnation. Sri Ramakrishna himself has revealed that he came from that highest absolute for the sake of humanity. So he came to integrate all the religions of the world, and those who really aspire for spirituality should definitely come to Sri Ramakrishna. Vedanta means spirituality in daily practice. Page 840. Sri Ramakrishna said, the other day I woke up covered with perspiration. I don't understand this illness. Yam said, we have decided to ask Bhagavan Rudra to see you once. He is an MD and an expert physician. Master said, how much he will charge? Master answered, his regular fee is 20 or 25 rupees. Sri Ramakrishna said, then don't bother about him. Yam said, but we shall pay him 4 or 5 rupees at the most. Master said, listen, suppose you say this to him, sir, please be kind enough to come and see him. Hasn't he heard anything about this place? Yam said, perhaps he has. He has almost agreed not to charge any fee, but we shall pay him a little. If we do that, he will come again. Master said, ask Dr. Nitai to come. He is a good physician. But what will the doctors do, I wonder? They press my throat and make my illness worse. It was 9 o'clock in the evening. Sri Ramakrishna ate a little farina pudding and had no difficulty in swallowing. He said to Yam cheerfully, I was able to eat a little. I feel very happy. Sri Ramakrishna was about to take his bath. A devotee was rubbing his body with oil on the veranda south of his room. Yam came there after finishing his bath in the Ganges and saluted the master. After bathing, Sri Ramakrishna wrapped himself in a towel and with folded hands saluted the deities in the temples from afar. He could not go to the temples because of his illness. It was a sacred Janmashtami day, the birthday of Lord Krishna. Ram and other devotees had brought new clothes for Sri Ramakrishna. He put them on and looked charming. Again he saluted the deities. Gopalma brought her Gopala, the baby Krishna. Gopalma regarded Sri Ramakrishna as Gopala and addressed him by that name. She brought some food that she had prepared at her home at Kamarhati. She said to the master sorrowfully, but you won't eat any of it. Master said, you see, I am ill. Gopalma, that's my bad luck. Please take a little in your hand. Master said, please give me your blessing. A devotee brought some sugar candy. Gopalma said, let me take it to the Holy Mother in the Nahabat. The master said, no, keep it here. I give sweets to the devotees. Who wants to send a messenger 100 times to the Nahabat for sugar candy? Let it be kept here. It was 11 o'clock in the morning. The devotees were gradually arriving from Calcutta. Balram, Narendra, the younger Naren, Gopal and Vaishnava from Kotawa arrived. Rakhal and Latu were staying with Sri Ramakrishna. A Punjabi sadhu had been staying in the Panchavati for some days. The younger Naren had a tumor on his forehead. Sri Ramakrishna was strolling in the Panchavati with the devotees. He said to the younger Naren, why don't you have your tumor operated on? It is not in the throat, but only on the forehead. That is a simple thing. People have their arthritis operated on. The Punjabi sadhu was going along the footpath in the garden. The master said, I don't attract him. He has the attitude of a jnani. I find him to be dry as wood. Sri Ramakrishna and the devotees returned to the master's room. The conversation turned to Shampada Bhattacharya. Balram said, Shampada said, when he, the master, placed his foot on Narendra's chest, Narendra went into bhava, but I didn't have that experience. Master said, shall I tell you the truth about it? It is very difficult to gather the dispersed mind when it is attached to lust and gold. The Pandit told me he was pulled upon to act as arbiter to settle people's quarrels. Besides, he has to worry about his children. But the minds of Narendra and the other youngsters are not scattered like that. They are not yet touched by lust and gold. We should stop here. Chant the name of the Lord and His glory unceasingly, that the mirror of the heart may be wiped clean and quench that mighty forest fire, worldly lust raging furiously within. Own name streams down in moonlight on the lotus heart, opening its cup to knowledge of thyself, O self, drowned deep in the waves of His bliss, tasting His nectar at every step, bathing in His name that bought for weary souls. Various are thy names, O Lord. In each and every name thy power resides. No times are set, no rites are needful for chanting of thy name. So vast is thy mercy. How huge then is my wretchedness, who find in this empty life and heart no devotion to thy name. O my mind, be humbler than a blade of grass. Be patient and forbearing like a tree. Take no honor to thyself, give honor to all. Chant unceasingly the name of the Lord. O Lord and soul of the universe, mine is no prayer for wealth or retinue. The playthings of lust are the toys of fame. As many times as I may be reborn, grant me, O Lord, a steadfast love for thee. A drowning man in this world's fearful ocean, he is thy servant, O sweet one. In thy mercy consider him as dust beneath thy feet. Oh, how I long for the day when an instant separation from thee, O Lord, will be as 1,000 years, when my heart burns away with its desire, and the world without thee is a heartless void. Prostrate at thy feet let me be, in unwavering devotion, neither imploring the embrace of thine arms, nor bewailing the withdrawal of thy presence, though it tears my soul asunder. O thou who stillest the hearts of thy devotees, do with me what thou wilt, for thou art my heart's beloved, thou and thou alone. O Lord, lead us from the unreal to the real, lead us from darkness to light, and lead us from death to immortality. May all be free from dangers, may all realize what is good, may all be actuated by noble thoughts, may all rejoice everywhere, may all be happy, may all be free from disease, may all realize what is good, may none be subject to misery, may the wicked become virtuous, may the virtuous attain tranquility, may the tranquil be free from bonds, may the freed make others free, may good betide all people, may the sovereign righteously rule the earth, may all beings ever attain what is good, may the worlds be prosperous and happy, may the clouds pour rain in time, may the earth be blessed with crops, may all countries be freed from calamity, may holy men live without fear, may the Lord, the destroyer of sins, the presiding deity of all sacred works, be satisfied, for he being pleased, the whole universe becomes pleased, he being satisfied, the whole universe feels satisfied.